Great. Hello, my name is David Morgan. I'm the city manager for the city of Georgetown, and today we announce entering stage 2 of water restrictions per our drought contingency plan. We've been watching consumption closely and looking at our overall capacity to treat water on a daily basis, and what we've seen is that we've been consistently reaching over 90% of our capacity to treat the water every day. In fact, over the last 5 days, we've been around 97 to 98% capacity in terms of our production. And so this is part of a plan that we've had set in place for a number of years, and it's been triggered to move to stage 2, which would require once a week watering for irrigation systems. If you look at our water consumption, 75% of our water is used for irrigation. And so the biggest way in which we can help deal with the pressure and the capacity issues that we're seeing is to have a reduction in that irrigation usage. And so that's the reason for taking this step. What I'd like to do is hand it off to Chelsea Solomon, who is our Water Utilities Director, to be able to provide more detailed information. Chelsea?
Chelsea Solomon, Water Utilities Director. Currently our plants, as David has said, are hitting 98% capacity, and our wells are showing stress. We have consistently hit this number for the past 14 days, and we are enacting our drought phase 2. With drought phase 2, that limits us to 1 day a week watering for all city facilities, businesses, commercial, governmental facilities, and residents. It also prohibits water waste. It does not prevent you from filling your pool to ensure that it's maintained. It does not prevent you from watering your foundation to make sure your foundation is protected. It is strictly a 1 day a week watering restriction, and it does help us to bring the system back into a level of compliance so that we can safely maintain and have supply for those key functions that we need as a city, which is our domestic, our firefighting, and our ability to maintain and operate. Are there any questions?
Just thinking ahead, it's only June right now and we're entering stage 2. So what are you going to be looking for and monitoring, in July and August if we continue to see these, weather conditions?
Well, I think that's the reason why we're moving to this phase, because we have seen the heat and the dry weather, and it's only the end of June, and we still have 2 months really of significant heat left through the summer, we hope. And so that's one of the reasons why we're entering this phase as a precautionary measure. And I think that we'll be monitoring our system closely, just like we have been. And we'll be also making sure that we educate our residents and our customers in our water surface territory to make sure that we see compliance with that. We think, as I mentioned before, 75% of our water consumption is all to irrigate water, all to make our greens more lush. And so if we can help reduce and control that better, we're going to see a significant improvement in where we are today.
What are the enforcement plans?
So from an enforcement standpoint, we have smart meters. We monitor those daily. We also have a team of interns which go out and drive neighborhoods every morning just to look to make sure that we're not wasting water. So enforcement, we will not be enforcing this first week. We need to give people time to make the change. And then after this week, we will be going into enforcement mode for the 1 day a week.
And will that lead to fines?
That is correct. The first notice is a warning. And then after that, it becomes a fine structure that increases on your first, second, third violation.
Is it the same for residences versus businesses?
At this time, it is.
And then just when was the last time we got close to maybe the threshold where we're at that you've been watching the past 14 days?
In 2020, we hit the threshold for 1 day a week watering in late August. We did not pull the trigger. We felt that we were managing fine and that it did not, at the end of August, it did not give sufficient enough time to a resident to really cause a change. From our experience, towards the end of August, beginning of the school year, is when people really stop using water. So when we hit that trigger in 2020 at the end of August, we made a plea for customers to help, but we didn't pull the trigger because we didn't think it would be effective at that time.
And then, so sorry, I'll keep going, but, so the customers have their game plan, they have to make these changes. Just what's the city doing, maybe to supplement that or in addition to what the customers are being asked to do?
We have our own facilities and our own, different areas that we irrigate. So obviously, we will be complying with those measures. And again, our goal is really to have education for everyone. We think that if we can engage well and help people understand how much water they are utilizing, find more efficient ways to be able to see the outcomes they want to see in their yards, but do it more efficiently, it will make a significant impact and improvement for everyone.
So from a utility standpoint, we are no longer flushing hydrants unless it's necessary. All city facilities are also been reprogrammed to 1 day a week. And we are increasing our efforts to look for leaks and make sure that those get repaired in a timely manner.
What triggers the next stage?
The next stage is triggered at 95% capacity. We did hit that this past week. However, we are not pulling that trigger at this time. We'd like to give people the opportunity to respond and make sure, if they respond appropriately, then maybe we don't need to go there.
So if the plants continue to operate 96 or higher, does that trigger more restrictions?
The next phase on our drought contingency plan is when the plants hit 95% of production capacity for 3 consecutive days.
And I think it's really important for us. That is a trigger. But what we also do is we watch how our system is recovering. We have several water tanks. We watch how it's recovering on a daily basis to see how the system's functioning. So that is a trigger point, but we look at other pieces of the overall picture in order to really make that decision. Our hope is working with our customers that we're able to see a reduction in consumption. Again, what we see is that 75% of water consumption is going on to people's yards. So if we can make a significant impact there, we think we can make a significant improvement in the overall operation of our system.